October is here. That means we're a couple of weeks into the fall season, but more importantly, it means it's spooky season. It's time for horror and monster-themed games and Halloween stuffs. So to get an early start into the season, I've gathered up a bunch of eShop games on sale that have fit that spooky season theme. Now don't worry though if you don't like scary games, I understand that many don't. So I got everyone covered with a bunch of games for all types of gamers that fits today's theme, and also, at the end of the video, I have some additional eShop games beyond today's theme too, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's dive into those deals. Little Nightmares 2 is a horror-themed puzzle platformer adventure game. The story in this game follows a young boy named Mono who must work together with the protagonist of the first game to survive the dangers of Pearl City and discover the dark secrets of the signal tower and its eerie transmission. The core gameplay is similar to the first game. You will still need to deal with foes, solve puzzles in a spooky atmosphere and whatnot, but there are some changes this time around. For example, Mono has the ability to grab certain items, and even has the ability to fight back directly against certain foes. In addition, there is now the added element of including two characters working together, which adds some nice needed depth to the gameplay and puzzles. I think this is a good game. It's not too spooky, so if you're easily scared, I don't think you have to worry too much, and the puzzles aren't that too tough either. But that said, I think this is good stuff. I think it's better than the first game, and a perfect game to play during the Halloween season. It's on sale for $9.89 on the eShop until October 14th. Oh, and there is a demo on the eShop to check out if you're interested. In Cursed to Golf, you play as a golfer who has died and ends up in purgatory. To possibly escape, he needs to play golf and win all the courses in an attempt to return to the land of the living. Now this is not a traditional golf game. I mean, you still have clubs and you gotta swing a ball and get into the cup and all that, but now the gameplay takes place entirely in 2D, and the courses are anything but traditional. They are pretty insane, and they are filled with loads of traps, pits, and obstacles that you would not find on a typical golf course. I do like the twist this game has on golf. The 2D style perspective does make it feel a bit like a puzzle game, and the courses become a bit of a brain teaser as you try to figure out the best possible solution for each course. So even if you're not a big fan of golf, if you like puzzle games, then check this one out. I think it's a good game. This game is on sale for a brand new low price of just $4.99 until October 13th. Have you ever wanted to see how it would be like if you were to become death itself? You know, the Grim Reaper? Well, a character named Penny in a game called Flipping Death does, very soon after she dies. Forever searching for a job, Penny ends up dead, which you know sucks for her, but she finally finds a job as the Grim Reaper, which can be good, I guess, sorta. Anyway, as Death, you'll need to flip between the worlds of the living and the dead to help both lost souls and people with their issues, while also solving puzzles, and this is a very funny adventure game. That's right, expect to laugh a lot. It's a pretty hilarious game at times, as the characters you meet, well, they are as eccentric as anyone can be. You'll see when you play. I think this game is a treat. It's a perfect game for this time of year to play, and it's a no-brainer at a price of just $1.99 on the eShop. Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk and its sequel, Milk Outside a Bag of Milk Outside a Bag of Milk, is a collection of two psychological horror visual novel games. The first one centers around a female protagonist who visits a store to buy a bottle of milk, and well, she suffers some severe trauma and issues and psychosis, and yeah. The second game picks up right after where the first one leaves off. Now, simply put, these games are messed up, as you can very much tell from the gameplay shown, and they will mess with your head, but that makes them perfect for Halloween. They're best enjoyed, going in with as little knowledge as possible about what the games are, and they are pretty short games. But for $1.99 via the latest sale, I say go for it. I think if you like this kind of stuff, you'll get a kick out of it, and to be honest, there's far worse things you can spend $2 on. If you're looking for something out of the ordinary, this collection is it. Check these adventure games out. The House of the Dead remake is a remake of a classic arcade light gun game for modern platforms. The remake features a new, updated visual look and modern controller support, as well as a local 2-player co-op multiplayer, achievements, and new additions, such as an armory, and even a new game mode. I think this is a nice way to re-experience a classic game. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it at the MSRP price, I think it's a little high, but at the eShop sale price of $6.24, I'd definitely say give this a go ahead and pick it up. It'll be a fun way to blast away some zombies for the spooky season. Jurassic World Aftermath was originally a VR exclusive game, a stealth game set 2 years after the events of the 2015 film Jurassic World. In this game, players take control of Sam, a security expert who is sent to the island from the film to obtain information. After his plane crashes, he must somehow figure out how to gather the information he needs, as well as escape with his life. See, the dinosaurs have taken over the island, and they're hungry. You'll need to use stealth and distractions to escape velociraptors, T-Rexes, and more that want you as a meal. A few years after its original release, the VR game was modified to become more of a first-person adventure game without the need for a headset, and combined together with its sequel and all the DLC in a release called the Jurassic World Aftermath Collection. And that's what we have here on Switch. The game in the collection has a nice story, I think it's the best part of the games, with lots of callbacks to the movies, and there's some nice voice acting too. The collection is on sale for $8.99 until October 13th. For more dinosaur fun, the fantastic park sim Jurassic World Evolution is one of the best games ever that uses a Jurassic Park license, as well as one of the best park management sim games around. Build parks on multiple islands, research and discover new dinosaurs, and somehow make some money at the same time. That's the whole point of this game, and it's really good, and it's addictive. This game has a lot of content and depth. There's so much to discover, there's a lot to use to build the park of your dreams, and the complete edition includes even more stuff. All the updates and DLC adding a ton of new stuff to play with, including loads of new dinosaurs and additions, and the ability to freely create a park at will beyond the main mode. If you like park sims and management sims and dinosaurs, then there is no reason not to pick this up, unless you are primarily a handheld user. See, Jurassic World Evolution doesn't look so hot in handheld mode. Okay, so that's a reason, but hey, if you're a docked user, then you're good to go. Jurassic World Evolution Complete Edition is on sale for $17.99 until October 10th. The 2D RPG Undertale is anything but a typical RPG game. There's a lot of wackiness to the game, your actions and choices have a great effect on what happens with the characters, events, and story, and the combat system has you navigating many bullet hell attacks. With inspiration from games like the Mother series, Mario and Luigi series, bullet hell games, and British comedy TV, it's one eccentric game, a pretty unique experience. If you somehow haven't played it yet, or you're looking to play it again, then feel free to pick up the Switch version from the latest sale. It's on sale for $9.89 until October 8th. Bendy and the Ink Machine is a spooky horror game that has you playing as a retired animator who decides to visit his old workplace, the Joey Drew Studios. Now you know what they say never return to your old job. This proves to be true, as the animator finds himself trapped and encounters a series of strange and deadly events. As the animator, you'll need to fight off against the creatures that inhabit the studio and somehow escape. Good luck! Bendy and the Ink Machine was a big hit some years ago with horror fans, and recently it's had a few sales, which is good for those who have yet to pick up the game on Switch. If you're looking for a good spooky game, then Bendy and the Ink Machine is your ticket, and you can get it for just $7.99 via the latest sale. The Coma 2 Vicious Sisters is a survival horror game that follows the story of Mina Park, a high school student who is a friend of the protagonist from the first game. She soon finds herself trapped in the coma, which is a strange dimension filled with lots of evil within it. She must escape from her teacher, who has been possessed by an evil spirit, and explore a twisted version of her school for clues and a way out. I consider this one to be a good pickup for fans of Asian horror or psychological horror stuff. I think for $2.99, it's a good price for the experience of what you get. Abarenbo, Tengu, and Zombie Nation are relatively the same game. one being the original Famicom release, and the other one being a localized NES release, with story and visual changes. These games are some pretty strange, horror-themed shoot-'em-ups, where the big selling point is the absurdity of the games. The premise in the games are pretty crazy, which made them stand out to the few that played it during the 8-bit era, but sadly, it pretty much went undiscovered by many, and now the actual carts are pretty expensive down. No worries now, as you can now play it for cheap with the newer release on modern platforms. All the standard features are here that are present in most classic re-releases. There's a rewind feature, quick save, and rapid fire, which can help take the edge off these pretty hard shoot-'em-ups, and there's even achievements to earn. If you're looking to experience one of the NES era's hidden gems, as well as one of its most bizarre games, without breaking the bank, then here you go. It's just $5.99 until October 9th. Horror-themed shoot-'em-ups, the Deathsmiles series, is a treat and are some of the most famous bullet hell games ever made. Featuring fun and frantic gameplay with some excellent pixel art and level design, I consider them to be games that you simply must check out if you consider yourself a shoot-'em-up fan. For those who have been looking to check out the series, then one of the ways you can is through the newer Deathsmiles I II release, which is a collection. It contains 3 titles, the first arcade release of Deathsmiles, as well as the upgraded version of the first game in Deathsmiles Mega Black Label, and the sequel, Deathsmiles Merry Christmas in Hell, as well as multiple modes for each, including the arcade versions and the updated or arranged versions. The games also include support for online leaderboards. Via the latest eShop sale, the collection is on sale for $27.99. ARKANOID Eternal Battle features the classic brick-breaking ball and bat arcade gameplay that the series is known for, and infuses it with modern twists and features that definitely make it stand out from the past games. Included in this game is the brand new Eternal Battle mode, an online mode that supports up to 25 players facing off against each other to see who will survive. In addition, there is a new Neo mode that gives the classic gameplay a new coat of paint, plus a versus mode that supports up to 4 players facing off against each other. That said, don't worry if you missed the classic arcade game, because that is here too in a mode called Retro Mode. This is some great arcade puzzle game fun for just $2.99. DARIUSBURST CS Core plus TAITO and SEGA Pack is a special version of DARIUSBURST Chronicle Saviors that features the CS and DLC modes of the SEGA and TAITO packs. This is a separate version from DARIUSBURST Another Chronicle EX Plus with its own modes. There's 6 new ships to play as, in addition to 6 new stages, and more. It's on sale for $17.99 during the latest sale. One of my favorite arcade games of all time is Puzzle Bobble 2. I recently talked about my love for it in my arcade games on Switch video from a few months back, where I went into depth about it being included in a game collection called Puzzle Bobble 2X/Bust-A-Move 2 Arcade Edition and Puzzle Bobble 3/Bust-A-Move 3 S Tribute. Long name aside, this release features the Sega Saturn versions of both the Puzzle Bobble games 2 and 3, as well as their North American versions. While some of the other S-Tribute games from City Connection have a few issues, this release is pretty spot on. The emulation is great, and it even includes some convenient features, such as rewind, slow mode, and save states. Now, these being their home releases too, it includes content on top of the arcade-accurate main modes. So yeah, this is great. I love this little collection, and it's a joy to have on Switch. It's on sale for $10.49 until October 9th. HEBEREKE, otherwise known as Euphoria the Saga in Power Regions, is an NES gem from legendary developer Sunsoft. This game has become a bit of a cult hit over the years, praised for its gameplay, design, and music. In this game, you play as a penguin-like creature named Hebe, who must gather his friends and use their powers to save the world from an alien invasion. The gameplay is a bit like a Metroidvania, though it was made before that term was a thing, and you need to explore and find items and such to get further into the game. It's a fun 8-bit game that actually holds up quite well, and it's pretty expensive to get an actual cart of. That's why I'm so glad they did a re-release this year in a new digital version for modern platforms called HEBEREKE Enjoy Edition. This includes the classic Famicom version of the game, with a new English translation, along with a bunch of modern features, as well as a new speedrun mode, a gallery mode, and a special snap mode, where you can see the game compared to the PAL release in real time, as well as online leaderboards. If you consider yourself an NES fan, then you simply must check this one out. It's a great version, and they did a nice job with it. It's on sale for a new low price on the eShop of $6.99 until October 9th. The Magical Drop series, originally developed by Data East, has seen many releases over the years for both arcade and home consoles. While Data East as a company is long gone, they went out of business in 2003, a company called G-Mode bought the license, and in the last few years have released a few sequels in the series, including the latest one called Magical Drop 6. In this game, the core gameplay is still the same. Players need to clear the stack of drops by matching same colored drops. Players can gather drops and then shoot them upward towards the stack. The gameplay is simple to understand, though you really need to have some quick reflexes in order to compete at higher difficulties of the game. The latest release includes a new HD art style, as well as 15 playable characters to choose from, each with their own story to play through, along with local and online multiplayer modes, 6 solo game modes, and lots of other goodies and challenges to complete. It's a solid release in the series, with a nice amount of content to boot, more so than any of the past releases. So for those who are looking for a good puzzle game, check this one out. It's worth getting, especially at the new low price of $7.49 it's going for via the latest sale. Toki on Switch is a remake of the classic arcade run and gun game. You play as a human who's been turned into an ape, and he must go on a quest to stop the evil wizard who has cast a spell on him, as well as rescue a kidnapped princess. As Toki, you will need to jump, climb, and spit your way to victory. The remake here sports a new animated visual look, as well as a reorchestrated soundtrack, but beyond that, the gameplay is pretty much the same as the arcade release, from level design to its mechanics and power-ups. Nevertheless, it's a fun game. It's hard and challenging, as most arcade games are, and it is worth checking out for those who love classic games at the rock bottom low price of just $1.99. And there you go. That's the latest round of eShop deals. Things are just getting started for the month of October, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel for upcoming videos highlighting awesome games as well as game deals. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next video.